One of the juiciest topics over here, why do girls choose bad guys or bad people, or vice versa? It could be boys choosing bad girls or whatever, bad girls or bad girls, whatever. Why do we choose always the bad person? And we always push over instead of the nice ones that treat us right. Welcome today with Chats with Chiara, that we are gonna be talking about one of the best topics. This is one of my favorites. In fact, let me grab my water bottle because my period is really cramping from the excitement. Let's just explain some fundamentals here. I don't know how that is even possible, but the nice guy, for some reason, there is always something wrong with the nice guys. And they're nice. We want a nice, healthy relationship. We want somebody to treat us right so much, okay? We want somebody that gives us love, that gives us attention, but somehow they got something weird about them. They give us the ick. Maybe the way they hold their cup is very weird, or the way they flirt, they're so sometimes a little bit feminine in a way. Not that it's a bad thing, but for certain people, they will find that flaws. There's something wrong with the nice guys. They're just not. But the bad guys, however, they always seem to be having something exciting about them. Maybe they're not even the most good looking ones, but they've got confidence. They lead with confidence. They know what they're doing. And somehow they give us this sense of safety because they know that if something, they're going to end up in a fight, they know that they will get us, they'll protect us, they're strong, they're confident, they know how to deal with lives. But the nice guys, sometimes they're a little bit of not as confident. They know that maybe if we went on a fight, they wouldn't be able to, they'll take the punch for us, but they wouldn't win, right? It's not as simple as I'm telling you. Even if it sounds familiar, it's not just that. There is a lot more and a lot of depth about this. And a lot of the times, and I'm telling you not as a therapist, but simply as a normal girl that has experienced it all, okay? Like you, like we're the same. So hopefully you can find some similarities and you can get some help from experiences, from my friends, from me, from everybody, okay? And from somebody that has done, to be honest, therapy for years of my life. So when we normally walk into a foreign place, let's say you're going on holiday, and wait for it before you just like, what is she on about? It's very important. You are in a new country, which is the metaphor of dating life, is something maybe new or maybe something that you're not particularly good at, let's say. And you're walking down the street, okay, in this foreign country, and there's so many shops around, so many. As you walk past, there is a shop that catches your attention. There is a smell that reminds you of home. So between all the shops, you enter this one. Or maybe you saw something that reminds you of home. You enter immediately. Let's check it out. What is it? You check it out and you enter in that shop, right? You would do that. Anyone would do that. Most people are likely. The traumatized ones will do that. Okay. Now, what does that mean in the dating scene? There's so many types of guys, but somehow your brain will select the same type and will go for the same type because it's what it's familiar with. Yes, exactly. So that could translate into the fact that not maybe all men are the same, but maybe the ones you choose are all the same because your brain automatically chooses what is familiar with. Bet you didn't know that. So what do you mean familiar? Maybe you choose somebody that is emotionally available, not emotionally unavailable. Maybe you choose somebody that is emotionally unavailable because this is what is familiar to you. And maybe from your childhood, you have parents that were giving you all the support and needs that a kid would need in terms of food and beverage and going to school, not emotional support. That's what you're used to. That's what your idea of love is. And a lot of our attraction is based on what we got taught as kids. If we learned that our love, whether intentionally or unintentionally, because our parents didn't know about therapy back then, it was not a thing. We should not hate, but that's what happened in reality. They were trying to love us, but our idea of love that they transmitted us was not consistent. It was, okay, you get a good pat on your back if you did well with your homework and if you did well, if you cleaned your room, but you'll be dismissed the whole time. Your needs, your emotional needs, your love, it was not easy for them to be displayed. You would not be cuddled or held when you most needed it. You were on your own because they were busy with their work, with their stuff. They didn't do it intentionally, but yet that's what they taught you. Or even worse, if you experience a house with aggression or things that were happening that were not very stable, then you'd be attracted also. That's what you learn. That's the first imprint that we get of love. And that's what we learn as children. So subconsciously, we start believing that in order to have a loving relationship as we become adults, they need to be as uncertain or emotionally unavailable as when we were growing up, because this is all we know. We don't know another way of loving in a healthy way, where people express their feelings in a genuine way, where somebody shows you actively acts of love. And when we meet somebody in our life that can do that, our brain will almost enter in a sort of like alarm bells, because what is that? I cannot recognize this sort of love. So they will start making you see all the flaws that you wouldn't even notice in somebody that is but you notice in this person, because you automatically convincing yourself that this person must be eliminated because our brain does not recognize what the hell this person is. So that's why you develop the ick. Maybe they are good looking, but you find out, I don't like the way they drink water. They're coming up, I swear, with the worst icks, by the way. But with the horrible guy, the unavailable guy, they might be even ugly, but that's what your brain is used to, and you kind of idealizing it. You cover your eyes, like in Italian we say we put salami in front of your eyes, and you don't see, you decide not to see. Because it's fine, but because that's what you're used to. That's what love is supposed to be. Even if it makes you suffer, even if it makes you cry. But until we realize what's happening, and until we start breaking the patterns down and stopping the patterns, you'll keep choosing the same people. It's simply psychology, and it is normal it makes sense if you think about it. If that's something that you're always known, you will go for something that is known rather than unknown. At least for the ones that have experienced trauma. Until you kind of break. But I will tell you something else, which is very, very weird. Apart from this scenario, the reason why we also choose somebody that is the bad guy is also something weird that you will notice. And the only reason I started noticing is, what if the bad guy turned nice and he started becoming very clingy at you? All of a sudden, that never happens, but let's make this scenario, you wouldn't like them anymore. Why is that? I've done so much research about this, and I'm about to revolutionize your whole life. Men and women are kind of a little bit the same, different in many ways, but psychologically, sometimes some parts, everyone, let's not just putting everything like that. We don't want what's easy sometimes straight away. You know, when they tell you that, and that might be like a trauma response somehow, but human beings, they don't want something that is given to them so easy, because you kind of just don't value it. It's like when, such a cliche example, but let's do it. A bag that is available at Zara, like it's cheap, there is loads of them. Yeah, it's okay, you can buy it, but I mean, you can buy it next month even, it's still gonna be there, right? But Hermes, you have to build a reputation, you have to build it. They make it so hard for you, right, to get that bag. That's why you want it. And the way they give you the color that you think that might go with one of your outfits, you go for it immediately, buy for it, even if it's so expensive. It's a status as well. But it's also a little bit the chase. It's a little bit of human psychology. And the same thing applies a little bit to dating. Let me tell you a little bit something what happens. Usually somebody that is emotionally unavailable, and it could be on both genders, by the way, it's not just men that are emotionally unavailable. That is not true. Also, women can be avoidant. They are not always available, right? Or they could be for a bit and then they disappear, they ghost, they have their life basically. They're not always available for you, right? And that kind of just creates a lot of intrigue for us, because when we don't have somebody telling us what they're up to, what they're doing, they disappear, they kind of create a gap in our mind where we start imagining, oh, what is she up to? Oh, do you think he's cheating on me? Do you think he's, or she, has he got a new girl? Has he got like, so you start obsessing a little bit over them. You start thinking about them. Why have they not there? Why have they not responded? You start checking their follower lists for the extra crazy girls, yes. Or you check if they like somebody, or if they like being online, or you start checking, you start where they are. You cannot avoid it, because it's the lack of something that makes you think of something. Because if you know that somebody is gonna be present at the same time every day, you get used to it. You know they will be there, right? But if someone is inconsistent, so is there and then he's not there, is there and he's not there, it creates a sort of addiction, because the moments that he's not there, that's what you keep thinking. Where are they? Where is he? Where is she? Right? So you kind of just start thinking more about them, you know? And the more they drip feed you as well, so they give you a little bit of crumbs, so they see you like on one day, or they don't reply to you, and then they reply to you very vaguely, and then you see them and then they disappear for a month, and then they come back. When they come back, it's such an event, right? Or when they write back to you, it's such an event. They're like, whoa, where have you been? Where, wow. Like, so if they manage to create this sort of dependency, you will be hooked on them. You cannot escape. And that's simple human psychology without me being a therapist. It's just simply what it happens in the human brain. We get obsessed with that. It's scarcity, creates scarcity. It's the same thing with selling a product. It's the same thing with marketing. It's the same thing with selling. Same with everything in life, because that's simple human psychology. So doesn't mean that we need to start acting out and just trying to manipulate them. Some people really are manipulators, and some guys really do it on purpose because they want to. They're just narcissistic and they want your attention. They want you to completely depend on them. And these are the worst people, by the way. If you do that, if you do play these games, you should be ashamed on you. And quite frankly, I don't want anything to do with that, because you're a manipulator and you use people. Some guys, they do it, but without consciousness, because simply they just don't have any emotional capacity in them. That's what they learned from their parents, and they will never be able to give it to you, even when they get married, because one day they will decide that they have to get married, not because they want to, but because probably their parents decided to, or they've seen that all their friends are getting married, and you'll watch them on their story and think, you start crying, why did you get married? You didn't choose me. Why not me? It's because it's just convenient. The time was not convenient back then when they know you. You were not the right piece at that point of time. That's why when you see people like that, you should just leave, even if it's against your instinct of nature to gravitate towards a bad boy. But then you'll cry and you'll be very, very sad for the rest of your life, and then you'll never be able to be in a relationship. You always bounce on and off with them, and you'll just never be, you'll always be single. So before we get to the solution of that, we need to break this pattern and actually do something different. Them, they will not even, some of them, not everybody, because there is the psychos, but some of them, they just don't do it on purpose because they don't have the emotional capacity to look after you, to be consistent with you. So they automatically create this dependency that you have for them. So they'll come on and off, on and off, on and off. And they'll secretly even enjoy when you send them those paragraphs telling them why I feel you're so distant, They just don't even care about what you're saying. They don't even read the paragraph that you send them, by the way. They just look at it and I was like, oh, she cares so much about me. Wow. Let me continue being like that. I like the attention, because everybody loves attention. Doesn't matter how. And they'll continue to do, because that's first of all in their nature. And secondly, look how much attention you're giving them. You're giving them so much validation by writing long paragraphs and explaining how much you make them cry and yelling at them. When you yell at them and you said, you know what they do? They switch off. They just nod at you. Yeah, I'm sorry. But they really didn't understand. If you test them, repeat, or they'll forget tomorrow and do it again. That's why they do it again, by the way, because they didn't listen. They just love, they were maybe fascinated by the fact that you are giving them so much attention. You're yelling at me, like that means you care so much about me. Let me continue to do that with another girl. Okay, now she blocked me. I'll continue to do that because it'll work again, and another girl will do the same until all of us wake up. And the first little thing, we stop it. We stop this mess, and we just stop letting these people and continue to rule our world and to emotionally manipulate you, whether directly or indirectly. Because what you really want is a stable relationship, even if what you are all used to is emotional availability. But until you keep these type of people and you allow these kind of people back into your life, this is what you see, because your brain is so powerful, by the way. If you focus on a butterfly, let's say, so much, and then you get out in the street, you'll see butterflies. Is proven. Apart from the manifestation or the law of attraction or whatever you want to call it, it is proven. Why? Because our brain, we get so stimulated with so many things. Our brain can focus on what we think about the most. And if our vibration, if we all keep thinking about is emotional availability, this is what we're used to, this is what we deserve, this is what we allow because we forgive people, we keep letting them getting back into our life, we'll send this signal to our brain and we'll keep attracting the same people over and over again. And the nice guys that come to you, you will not see them, or when they come, they'll give you the ick, because what is this? You're seriously caring for me? I don't like that. I don't recognize that. I don't like you. I don't like the way you do your hair. I don't like your nails. Oh, that's the emotional available guy is like fat and ugly, but he's okay. We cover it. But the first little imperfection we see about, oh, just short, you know? Maybe the emotional available guy is even shorter than him, but he's fine. Have you ever wondered that? You ever compared the flaws? See which one has got more flaws. It's trauma, baby. It's trauma. Trust me. That's why you like them. So how do we stop this? You need to stop sending the same signal to your brain. When somebody gives you this unavailability and you recognize that, because you will recognize that, it's so familiar to you. You can sense them before you even meet them sometimes. It's crazy. Your brain is like, it can intercept it. It's got a radar for the emotional unavailable one, so you'll know. But the first sign of emotional availability, disrespect, not even caring, because sometimes it's just that they simply cannot communicate. They cannot give you the love that you truly deeply want, that your parents never gave you. They will never be able to give you that because they will only give you the same as your parents or the caregivers. They'll give you the same. You cannot change them. They cannot change. And they will get married, but they will give the same sort of treatment to their wives. On paper, they will look married and happy like your parents were. But behind the closed doors, they will cheat. They will have terrible arguments. This is the life that you want? You're calling for the same life that you had with your parents. Now, do you want to be like your mom? Have your kids do the same and be like you? Have your kids see what this person is showing you right now? This emotionally available guy right now, by the way. Now think about him being the father or the mother of your kids. How would you like your kids to grow up like that with this father? They cannot give you any attention. Imagine what attention and love is going to give to your child. So this is the kind of future you're choosing right now. Every single time you choose these kind of people. Unless you go on TikTok and Instagram and you learn how to manipulate, because there's so many courses, how to make a guy love you, how to make a guy. So you have to play and learn all these tricks and tips and games because you're too scared to be yourself and to say what you want and who you really are. So you feel like you have to learn tips and tricks and God knows what kind of new sentences and things and behaviors that you wouldn't do ever, because that's not you. But TikTok told you or Instagram told you that you have to learn in order to get the attention from these horrible guys that are horrible. Then the other question will be, so what do I do? Do I just go with a guy that gives me the it? That's a very good question. It's about slowly saying no, first of all, to the wrong ones, to the ones that disrespect you first, to the ones that don't care, that show you inconsistency, they make you cry, even at the beginning. At the beginning, you should have the best time. So you start first with the no's. You start first sending and teaching your brain what is not good anymore. That what was back in your childhood is not accepted now and it's not good anymore. And then you start seeing if there is a shift towards the attraction, towards the ones that treat you a little bit better, and maybe see if they still give you the ick. It's not something that happens overnight, but it starts with a choice. It starts with demanding respect. It starts with being yourself. And then it's not about attracting the nice guy or the bad guy. It's about simply attracting the one that you need, that your body, that your soul really needs. It sounds so cringy, but you have needs. You have things that you want, you deserve, but you always learn to shut because it was not safe to say so. It was not safe to express your needs, your wants. But it starts with a discovery first of yourself, because most of us don't even know what we want. You don't even know yourself. You think you do on the surface, but deep down, there is so much that you've not discovered about yourself. You don't know so much about you, and it's actually so scary sometimes that how we don't know ourselves. We think we do, but we ignore. There is a huge, it's like a tip of an iceberg. There's so much more behind. We don't understand why we act in a certain way. You also don't understand why you act in a certain way. Why do you like these guys? Why do you not like these guys? Why do you do a job that you don't like? Why do you do this? You don't know, right? So many things you do that you don't know, you don't understand. Why is it so hard to be like that? Why do I act like this? How many times do you say it? You don't know yourself. So maybe first thing is to start from a discovery of yourself, of who you are, and then maybe everything else will follow. But yes, this is the reason why we choose bad guys, or simply, rather than bad guys, I would say the wrong guys, because we don't know ourselves. We don't even know why we're doing things. What drives us? Is it trauma that is driving us when we make a decision for a job, for a partner? Is it because it wakes some feelings, inconsistency, fears that we felt before? You don't even know. And until you discover yourself more, you'll keep attracting the same people. Whether they're bad, they're wrong, they're bad guys, the wrong guys, whatever society calls them. But it all starts from a discovery of yourself and who you truly are. These are chats with Chiara. I hope you enjoyed them, and subscribe so that we don't miss the next heartfelt, truthful, and hopefully inspiring things that can help you reflect a little bit more and discover yourself too. Ciao.